guys, Pixies, it's Pristiny and welcome back to the Pixie Gardens. Today we are going to be doing my 10-month lock update. 10 months. Of course, when I started out my locks, they did not look like this. If you've seen all of my previous videos, you would know that they have been separated. I started with a smaller amount, a bigger amount, and I have separated them into a larger lock count and a smaller amount. So even my lock count video that I did is not my accurate lock count. I'll be doing a lock count video later on after my locks mature, but it's not the lock count that I have. I actually have more. But we're going to be talking about my locks. 10 months. I can't believe the time has gone by. I'm so excited for my 1-year mark, but as you can see, my locks are still in the fluffy stage. So I have a little puff on the top of my head. I'm really going to miss this when my locks do mature and they drop. But first things first is my locks are starting to drop. Do you think that my hair looks like locks, or does it still look like loose natural hair? Because some people think that I still have loose natural hair, especially if I didn't have these hanging down in the back and it was just up. Kind of looks like I just have a puff, but my locks are so small that each individual curl is pretty much defined. And that's how I wanted it. Like, I want to be yarned up, Lala Loopsy type of doll. Is so cute. I'm ready for them to drop though. That's the first thing. So I don't know if I hit maybe a 1.5 years or maybe 2 years. I feel like officially at 2 years they will drop. I know a lot of people have questions about when will their locks drop. It honestly just depends on your hair and your hair texture, how big your locks are, how small your locks are, and just how you overall take care of your locks throughout your journey. So with the locks, they are pretty much just strands of hair that collects your shed hair over time. So on average, you lose about 100 hairs a day. But when you have locks, those hairs get trapped inside of your locks and you pretty much don't shed hair anymore. So as your locks are shrinking and maturing and matting and locking together, those individual shed hairs are getting trapped inside of the lock. Those trapped hairs then make your locks lock up and they start to drop. So it just depends on the shedding of your hair. Your hair will start to fully form into a lock once it locks up and a lot of shed hair starts to collect within your locks. So if I literally just started to comb out one of these locks, I would see some shed hair inside of the locks because it's been 10 months, and within these 10 months my locks haven't been able to shed any of the shed hairs that you would naturally lose anyways. That's why when you comb out your locks, if you've ever combed out your locks or seen anybody who has combed out their locks, there is a massive amount of shed hair that you lose. So I am noticing that my locks are starting to drop. Like, that is actually some weight there. So watch this. This one, see, watch. It's not, this one is really heavy. Like, this one is giving a lock. I'm talking about, it looks like a full-blown lock. Well, I mean, you can still see a little bit of my 2-strand twist pattern, and my ends are loose and the top is interlocked. But other than that, do you see how it drops? It springs, and the back as well. See how my locks didn't do that a couple months ago. So if you want to know when your locks are going to drop, pay attention to these signs. Like, you'll know, especially when your locks start to like brush and hang against your neck and you'll be like, oh my God, what's that? So that's what I've noticed about my locks is I think they started dropping around 8 months. Someone did say this in another video, but of course it's not the same for everybody, but around 8 months, I started to notice that some of my locks were dropping and they had some weight, especially here in my bangs. They have weights. And these also have weight, but I have a little scrunchie that's pulling my hair up, and it's still fluffy. But once they drop, it's going to be really, really hard to achieve this look. My bangs are also growing out. My hair was really, really short when I first started. It's still short, but it's not as short as it was. I can literally see some growth that's happened over these 10 months, even with me separating my locks. And if you are new to my channel, I got my micro locks on May 6th last year of 2025, and I'm 10 months in. So this is my third set of locks. My first set of locks was installed on March 9th, 2021. And my second set of locks was installed on October 23rd of 2021. So I had the first set of locks for 7 months. My second set of locks I had for 3.5 years, and currently my micro locks I have had for 10 months. So I've had 2 sets of traditional locks and micro locks. And if I would have known back then, of course, I would have started with micro locks, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I had the chance to experience both traditional and micro locks just to let myself know that I wanted micro locks. And I do have one original lock in my head from the original install that I can pretty much see, that I know where it is, and it's right on the left side. So this was the only lock in my head that was this size, and the rest of my locks were bigger. Here it is. So I know it because I know where it is. So this is the one on my what is this, my nape by my ears, and it's 2 behind it. So this is one of my original locks, and I also know just because of how the end is, see. But this is one of the original locks that were was never separated from the original 280. This is my original one. I can literally find a video and show it to you. So as you can see, look at the size of this lock. This was the smallest lock in my head. Every single lock that I had in my head was bigger. So I was calling this one my sister lock. I do not have sister locks. I have micro locks. I don't have the official install or the technique that was done to classify these as sister locks. These are micro locks, but I was calling this my sister lock because it was the smallest one. And technically sister locks are smaller than micro locks, but you can install micro locks to be just as small as sister locks. So yeah, this is my original lock, and this is the size. So I pretty much went through and separated the rest of my locks and made them around this size. See, this is the original lock. This is this one. And I have others that are very, very tiny, like this one. I have some that are very, very tiny. They are all different sizes, but that is the beauty of locks. So I don't really have any huge updates with my hair. I don't do anything as far as styling. I've never had any styles. Our locks are very, very time consuming because we both have over 500 locks, and our reties are brutal. Very, very brutal. I would probably literally be somewhere crying if I had to sit here and retie my own hair. I know that there is people who do their own reties and they have like just as much locks as I do, but I'm telling you, my arms, my shoulders, my necks, my back, everything is thanking me right now that I have a loctician that maintains my locks, because At first I was considering to do my own reties when I had 280 locks, but when I realized that we started separating and making them smaller, and yeah, 4 to 6 weeks is the average for small locks or for plentiful of locks. So if you have a lot of locks or if your locks are small, 4 to 6 weeks is good. If you have like the extra large sister locks or maybe like bigger micro locks, 6 to 8 weeks you can get by doing 6 to 8 weeks with larger micro locks or sister locks. But for us that have tiny locks, and we got a lot of locks, you got, I say anywhere, I would say 400, but maybe 450 and above. So if you got a lot of locks, yeah, if you're doing your own reties, that's good, because you can be on your own schedule and you can pretty much take your own time as far as how long your reties take. But for me, I go to a loctician. My first time with her, when we waited 6 weeks, it took her 7 hours. I don't know if it was 7 or 7.5 hours, but that is long. That's a long time. And with her doing my sister hair, who also has over 500 locks, and then turning around and doing mine immediately after, she was pulling like a 12-hour shift. So also, we are looking for our locks to be very, very uniform. So consistent maintenance equals consistent locks. So if you are consistently maintaining your locks and you are not going too long without doing your reties, then that will keep your locks looking to be very, very uniform. It is bad to go too soon for reties, and it also is bad to go too long without getting reties. So for you have to figure out the perfect time frame for your lock count and your lifestyle and your hair texture, just everything. You have to figure out how many weeks is best for your hair. So this is what's going to work for us, especially going within 4 to 6 weeks is good, because it keeps your grid intact, especially if you have very, very tiny locks like we do. My grid would be non-existent if I waited till like after 6 weeks to get my retie. My grid would be gone. I have a grid. Of course, I went through and like split my locks, and they're not like a perfect brick pattern or whatever it is, but my grid would be non-existent. So also with your locks being as tiny as I have them, going often is actually more beneficial, because if your locks are very, very tiny like mine, and if you wait too long, they can actually become weak. You can start to get weak spots if you wait too long to get your retie. So all of that new growth that you let grow out at the roots, eventually those will become weak spots in your locks. So if you've ever seen somebody who has like a thin point in their locks, it could be due to other reasons, but one of the reasons that it could be due is because you're waiting too long to get reties. So with small locks, going soon is more beneficial, because they will literally be hanging on by a thread. If you got teeny tiny locks, like I'm talking about slits of hair, if your locks are small, going often is going to benefit you, because you don't want to let your hair grow out to the point where it's hanging on by a thread if you already got tiny locks, because it's not going to have anything to hang on to. So it helps. I have very, very tiny locks. Some of them literally are slits of hair, because they're tiny. Like, you can look at my hair, it literally looks like just curls and loose hair. My locks are tiny, so it helps me 4 to 5 weeks. So I'm going to take my hair down and show y'all what it looks like. I'm also going to braid and band, but I'm not going to sit here and show you the entire process of braiding and banding. Before I do braid and band, I'm gonna see what else I want to tell you about my update with 10 months. I don't use any products in my hair. I haven't used any products at all, honestly. My first retie, we used product, But after that, we weren't using any products for my reties. We recently, with my new loctician now, just started using products, maybe like the last 2 reties that I've had. So we're using light product. She makes sure that it's something that won't cause buildup, something that's, I don't know if it's gel based or whatever it is. She said it's not going to cause buildup. So you just have to be careful with your locks. Please don't use a lot of products, especially within the first year. Do not dye your locks within the first year, because if you dye your hair, it is pretty much a chemical process that will alter the natural chemistry of your hair, which means is if you have locks and you put those chemicals in your hair, it's going to make your hair very, very soft. And when your hair gets soft, it's going to cause unraveling, and your locks are just going to be set back as far as your journey. Like, your locks are going to come loose. So we don't want that. I don't spray my hair with water. My other 2 sets of locks I was spraying with water, but I was using like a curl defining cream, putting it all throughout my hair. But my last retie, I didn't use any products, so I may stop using the curl defining cream, but I do want to maintain my loose ends. My loose ends are about, let's see if I can, right here. Maybe this is how much loose curly ends I have. All of this is interlock, which is crazy. So this is pretty much how much my hair has grown in 10 months, and I'm so serious. So like, all of this, I can feel the interlock, because when I got my locks, I only had 2-strand twist and a tiny braid at the top, which this is probably the braid. So if this is the braid right here where my finger is, this means 10 months ago, this is how long my hair was right here. They were short, and I can show you the pictures and videos. Here's the other one. Well, where is it? Hold on, let me find another one. This one, well, that one's the tiny one. That one was split it right here. This is how long it was. I'm gonna show the videos, but my hair is pretty much grown about, let's see, it's like 1 inch, about 2 inches in 10 months, if I'm correct. So my hair is now officially touching my shoulders as well, but I'm gonna take it down. Yeah, other than that, when I wash my hair, I only use like shampoo and conditioner, or I'll do a co-wash, and I use oil in my hair, and that's pretty much it. Shampoo, conditioner, and oil, and I only put water in my hair when I wash it for my reties. That's it. Just leave your locks alone. I used to use rose water in my other set of locks. I'm probably going to start back using rose water when they mature a little bit more, but right now I don't want to cause any build up, because I'm going to have to wash my hair constantly, and it'll also just cause your locks to have a setback. You might have to start over or something if you have like a lot of buildup, and have to take your locks loose and take them out and start over. So just avoid a lot of product in the beginning stages, because you do not need product with locks. It is the complete opposite of your loose natural hair. With your loose natural hair, you want to maintain it being soft and luscious and moisturized, because you don't want it to be all like brittle and fragile and dry. But with locks, you want your hair to be matted and not dry. It doesn't have to be crunchy dry, but you want it to be like matted and shriveled up upon itself. So you don't want to make locks soft, especially your starter locks. If you're putting all of this stuff in your starter locks to make them soft and moisturized, you are actually setting yourself back. You want your locks to become matted and hard and dry, because that's how they lock up. Locks do not need a lot of product. Shampoo, conditioner, oil, maybe rose water, and that's pretty much it. You can use like a little curl defining cream if you have loose curly ends like I do, but other than that, don't worry about products. So let me take this down. So as you can see, it's literally just a scrunchie, and I put it around one time. And I'm gonna take my hair down. I'm going to comb it. All right, so this is my hair taken a loose. I'm going to comb it. I do have a lock comb that I started to use. It's over there, but I'm finger combing it right now. I'm gonna finger comb it just to show y'all what my locks look like. I might get my lock comb. Give me 1 second. Okay, so these are my lock combs that I have. I have a wooden one. This is like a brush. And this is the comb. So I've been using this, and this is really, really good. I'll go into more details in another video on what lock combing does. But of course, I had to get a pink set. So this one is kind of like a head scratcher or a massager, but of course you can use it to comb your locks as well, and it glides right through. Like, I'm telling you, if your locks are micro size, sister lock size, they don't have to be as small as mine, but it still works on micro locks. So it works on micro locks, but it's really, really good for starter locks, mature locks as well, but especially right now in this fluffy stage. But I'll do a whole video on the benefits of lock combs. And I also have this one and this one. This one is a lot brighter in pink, and it came in the same set, but it's just brighter. So this is what they look like, and I'm gonna use this one just to show you. So this is how it combs through. It doesn't hurt at all. It does not hurt at all. So this is what my locks look like hanging down. Of course, when I get a retie, it's a little bit elongated and longer, especially when it's like freshly washed. But I'm getting ready to braid and band my hair before washing, because braid and banding your hair before you wash it, it's really, really good, because again, if you are looking for your locks to be uniform, you want to make sure that you braid and band. If you also have starter locks and you don't want them to unravel, braid and band. If you want your starter locks to just have an easier process with washing, just go ahead and braid and band. It just helps so much to braid and band your hair. Even when you continue on to have matured locks, braiding and banding is good. I know it's very, very time consuming. It takes me like a good 30 minutes probably to braid and band all of these locks. Like I said, I have over 500 locks. I have a lot of locks and I love it. But yeah, I'm just preparing my hair for this braid and band. As you can see, look, it glides right through. It's just like combing your loose, natural hair. It helps so much, especially like before getting your retie. Let me get the back. Let me turn around so y'all can see the back. I don't know what it looks like because it's probably all flat, but let me turn around. So this is the back. This is what the back looks like. Hopefully you can see and it's in frame. This is the back of my hair. So I have a lot of locks. It's super, super full, and I got the volume that I was looking for. So yeah, as you can see, it just goes right through. If you want to see how the other combs work, this one is pretty much the same. It looks like it's wider in with the teeth. So I guess maybe if you have bigger micro locks, maybe like if you're in the 200, 300 lock range, this would work. But I feel like this would work too. I don't know. I would say just get it and try it out. And this one, this one and the brush. So this is what the brush looks like when it goes through. See, it doesn't hurt. All right, so my hair is pretty much detangled now, so I'm going to braid and band. Probably is going to take me forever, but once I braid and band my hair, I'm going to get back on camera, and then tomorrow I will show y'all the takedown of my braid and band process and show you the results of my braid out.